Despite the turmoil in recent days, WVU basketball is still hard at work on the recruiting trail, trying to build this roster for the upcoming season, and it's paying off as they've picked up the commitment of a point guard from a Power 5 program. Let's go! What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Jordan Cruz back here with the Country Roads webcast. And before I get into this video, just want to give you guys a quick reminder. If you would do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button, giving us a like on this video will really help not only its performance, but future videos performances here on the channel as well. And if you're a WVU fan, be sure hit the subscribe button. Helps us and it helps you as it helps get more of this Mountaineer sports content out to Mountaineer Nation. Having said that, let's get into it. All right, so we know West Virginia has multiple spots to fill on the men's basketball roster for the upcoming season. With the transfer departures that have occurred since the coaching change that has taken place within the program, and West Virginia is hard at work trying to land some of those transfers, and they've done so in one that we knew was on a visit this past weekend, and apparently he definitely liked what he saw, and that is Florida State transfer point guard Jeremiah Bembry committing to the Mountaineers, as you see, covered here by Ethan Bach over on WVSportsNow.com when the commitment first came through from the former Florida State Seminole, and he does have 4 years of eligibility remaining, so great addition for West Virginia, not only for this upcoming season, but for the future as well. And he's going to bring great length to the point guard position for West Virginia as a 6'6" point guard. You love to see that, and he is very athletic as well. And the reason he still has the 4 years of eligibility remaining is due to a medical redshirt he took his freshman year at Florida State, so really his first action altogether will be seen here at WVU, so we're excited to see him join the roster. And is one that I'm really excited about. We knew that West Virginia needed to add another player to the backcourt, specifically at the point guard position, since we now have lost Joe Toussaint and need someone to spell Kerr Kriisa there and take up some minutes at that position as well, and really just be another option of a ball handler that we need. And we get that in Jeremiah Bembry, who can do that and is just very athletic and a high ceiling with 4 years remaining. So good addition for West Virginia here to get a transfer in from another Power 5 program in Jeremiah Bembry, choosing to come to West Virginia from Florida State. And with his addition, let's take a look at the updated WVU basketball roster. As it stands currently, we know West Virginia is still going to add another piece or two, at least to this roster, as they have multiple holes to fill, as I stated earlier there. But this also coming from Ethan Bach over on WVSportsNow.com. Be sure to head over there. It's a great way to keep up with all your West Virginia sports news. But West Virginia's roster now, after the addition of Jeremiah Bembry, you see the guards there. You have Raekwon Battle, the aforementioned Bembry, Kobe Johnson, Kerr Kriisa, Omar Silverio, and Seth Wilson. And then as forwards, you have Josiah Harris and Pat Sumnick, and the lone big man is Jesse Edwards. So obviously you can see from the roster there, West Virginia really needs to add some players to the front court, and I suspect that will be where the next transfer additions will come. We know they've reached out to Memphis transfer Malcolm Dandridge. That would be another big to add to the roster, so hopefully they're able to get him on campus for a visit and maybe try and bring him in as the next target. But either way, looks like West Virginia will be adding some transfer players to the front court, as they really need players there following the losses of Trey Mitchell, James Okonkwo, and Mo McGee. But with those transfer losses that have come along for West Virginia and now a transfer addition, we can take a look and update our transfer portal tracker here on the Country Roads webcast. So let's take a look at that here before we close out on the CRW. All right, in a similar fashion to what I did on the football side, I've been trying to track the basketball transfer out and transfer ins throughout this offseason as well with our little Google Doc, using it as a transfer portal tracker here on the CRW throughout the offseason. Of course, the transfers out, you see there, Joe Toussaint, you may have seen West Virginia will be facing him. He's going to Texas Tech. Mo McGee went to Alabama. James Okonkwo, or Blockwo as I affectionately refer to him, had in the past on the CRW Hoops podcast, ends up at UNC. And then, of course, like I said just a few days ago, Jose Perez entering the portal following, a week or so of rumors that he may do so. Those ended up being true. So that's who West Virginia has transferring out and why they kind of have these holes to fill after we already had the roster complete before this coaching change took place. But now West Virginia really having to rebuild it. I believe there is 8 players on that roster that we just looked at now, or actually 9. It would be Bembry would be the 9th. So 9 players currently on the West Virginia basketball roster. They certainly want to get it above 10 into the double digits for this upcoming season, and would love to get as close to 13 as possible. But we'll see what they're able to do. But definitely a couple more transfer additions probably coming along for the Mountaineers. But for now, we know we can add Jeremiah Bembry to our transfer in list here on the Country Roads webcast as he comes in to join the Mountaineers as a 6'6" point guard coming over from Florida State with 4 years of eligibility left, of course, the subject of this video. So as it stands currently, the transfers in for West Virginia still have Omar Silverio coming in from Manhattan, Kerr Kriisa from Arizona, Jesse Edwards from Syracuse, Raekwon Battle from Montana State, and now Jeremiah Bembry from Florida State adds to that list as we continue to try and track these transfers in and transfers out for the West Virginia men's basketball team this offseason ahead of the upcoming 2023-2024 season. So there you have it, Mountaineer Nation, another transfer addition for the WVU men's basketball squad. And this comes at a time, and not only do they need it, of course, numbers-wise, but I think we really needed to see some positive news as well throughout Mountaineer Nation and really kind of turn the tide of what's been a negative news cycle the past couple of days, and a lot of things going on that none of us really wanted to see. But of course, that's out of our control. But what we can control is watching how this roster shapes up and hoping that it's players that will really make a difference this upcoming season, because we can control our fandom and we can still cheer hard for this Mountaineer basketball squad and the players that choose to represent this university. And hopefully they can still have a successful season despite all the trials and tribulations they've already had to go through in this offseason leading up to this season. But hopefully it's well worth it once this season comes around. But in the meantime, West Virginia is going to continue to try and build this basketball roster. Let me know down in the comments if there's any transfers you would like to see them target. We know they're looking for players in the front court, but let me know your thoughts on the addition of Jeremiah Bembry as well. Always interested to hear your all's opinions on these matters as well. But having said that, as always, I'm Jordan Cruz, and until next time, let's go Mountaineers.